Hello everyone. In our previous discussion, we had discussed first part of the Union Parliament. In this discussion, we are going to discuss second part of the Union Parliament, and we will discuss here Rajya Sabha. In the first part, we had discussed Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, which is also called Upper House or Council of States. So in this discussion we are going to talk about Rajya Sabha and powers and functions of Union Parliament. So let's start our today's discussion. So as we discussed in the last discussion, there are two type of houses in the Union Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. As we are discussing here Rajya Sabha. Now let's start our this discussion by knowing composition of Rajya Sabha. The composition of Rajya Sabha. The maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha is 250 members, whereas according to the constitution, 238 members are directly elected by the members of state legislative assemblies and UTs, and 12 members are nominated by the president from various fields of India, whereas seats are allotted to a particular state or a UT on the basis of population. Like for example, Uttar Pradesh sends 31 members while Mizoram sends 1 member according to its population. The strength of the current Rajya Sabha is 245 MPs. Now let's understand term of the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is a permanent house as it is never dissolving house, but however its members are elected for the period of 6 years, and 1/3 members of the total member get retired after every second year. Now let's understand qualifications of a member of Rajya Sabha. The qualifications are: number 1, he should be citizen of India. Number 2, he should not be less than 30 years of age. Number 3, his name should be in the electoral in some part of the country. Number 4, he should not be under any debt which he couldn't repay and should be able to meet his/her financial requirements. The next one is he should not hold any office of profit under state or central government. The next is he should not be a proclaimed criminal or offender. He should be a sound mind and should not be mentally retarded person. These were main qualifications of a member of Rajya Sabha. Now let's understand who is a presiding officer or chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The vice president is the presiding officer or the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. He presides over the meeting of Rajya Sabha. He votes in the house only in case of tie. The deputy chairman is also elected from among the members of the house. He performs all the functions of the chairman in the absence of the chairman. Now let's understand powers and functions of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. The first power is legislative power. The Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha make laws on the union list on all important subjects such as foreign policy and defense, etc. Number 2, both house also make laws on the concurrent list. In case of conflict with the state governments, the laws made by the union government are accepted. Number 3, the house can make laws on the matters which are not included in any 3 list. That list is called residuary list or residuary power. Number 4, the parliament can make laws on the subjects included in the state list during an emergency when the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution stating that the subject is in the state list of national importance. The president can pass ordinance at the time when the parliament is not in session. However, the ordinance ceases to exist after 6 weeks if it is not passed by the Union Parliament. When there is a breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state, an emergency can be declared by the parliament in the state. The parliament acts as legislature in such state and assume all the important powers in the state. The next power is financial power. All bills except the money bill can originate in either house of the parliament, but money bill can originate only in Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha plays only an advisory role in the financial matters. The financial powers are: number 1, the parliament passes the union budget, which consists of total income and expenditure of a financial year, whereas the parliament may ask for supplementary grants if the amount authorized for the current financial year is not sufficient. On the other hand, if the budget is not passed in the beginning of the financial year, the executive may draw funds from the consolidated fund until the budget is passed by the parliament. The parliament decide on the salaries and allowances of MPs. No tax can be imposed on the people of India, or money can be sent by the government without the approval of parliament. The next power is control over the executive. The parliament exercise control over the executive by asking question to the minister related to public opinion during question hour. By asking questions, member can draw the attention of the house and people toward unjust policies of the government. The parliament can pass a motion of no confidence against the government. If such a motion is passed, then the government has to resign. A adjournment motion can be passed on certain occasions when a mishap take place, such as railway accidents, killing of people during riots, or any such incident. The parliament draws attention of the people toward such acts by passing the adjournment motion. A motion can be moved if the parliament aims to reduce the demand of grant presented to the Lok Sabha. It also ensures that the public money is spent in the accordance with decision of the parliament. Now let's understand some judicial power of the Union Parliament. Number 1. The Parliament can impeach the President on the charges of grave misconduct or violation of the Constitution, etc. If the charges against the President are passed by two-thirds majority of both the houses, the President may be removed from his office. Number 2. The Parliament can remove the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court, the Chief Election Commissioner, the Controller and Auditor General of India if they are found to be violating any provision of the Constitution. Number 3. The Parliament can punish a person for hampering the work of the Parliament. The next function is electoral function. The Parliament with the state legislature elect the President of the country. It also elect the Vice President of the country, as well as member of the Lok Sabha elect the Speaker among themselves, while the members of the Rajya Sabha elect its own Deputy Chairman. The next function is amendment of the Constitution. The Parliament can amend the Constitution. The amendment should be passed by each house. There are three ways in which Constitution can be amended. Number 1. Amendment by simple majority of the Parliament. Amendment by special majority of the Parliament or two-thirds majority of the Parliament. And amendment by a special majority of the Parliament and the ratification at least half of the states of state legislatures. Now let's understand special powers or exclusive powers of the Rajya Sabha. The exclusive powers of the Rajya Sabha are: Number 1. The Lok Sabha cannot make laws on the subjects included in the state list. Only Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by two-thirds majority of the House. The Parliament can make laws on the state list. Number 2. The Rajya Sabha demands that new All India services should be made in the nation's interest. The Parliament may create the new services. Number 3. The Lok Sabha is dissolved before or after declaration of national emergency or during General Assembly, whereas Rajya Sabha is never dissolving house It continuously stay in function and plays role of Lok Sabha during national emergency. Now let us discuss special powers of the Lok Sabha. The motion of no confidence can be moved and passed only in the Lok Sabha. If it is passed, the government has to resign. Number 2. Money bill can only be introduced in Lok Sabha, whereas Rajya Sabha has only advisory function related to money bill. The Rajya Sabha can hold money bill only for the 14 days. If the Rajya Sabha holds money bill after 14 days, it automatically stand pass. Number 3. In case of deadlock over ordinary bill, the will of the Lok Sabha prevails, as the numerical strength is double that of Rajya Sabha. Now let us understand difference between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha, it is also known as House of People or Lower House, whereas Rajya Sabha, it is known as Upper House or Council of State. Money bill can be originated only in Lok Sabha, whereas money bill cannot be originated in Rajya Sabha and Rajya Sabha has only advisory power. Number 3. Speaker is the presiding officer of Lok Sabha in the House, whereas Vice President the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha or ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people, whereas members of the state legislative assemblies electing the members of Rajya Sabha. Number 4. Lok Sabha enjoys more power than the Rajya Sabha. On the other hand, Rajya Sabha enjoys less power than the Lok Sabha. Apart from this, some other differences like number of members in the Lok Sabha are 550, whereas number of members in the Rajya Sabha are 250. That's all in this discussion. In our next discussion, we will meet on the President and his powers. Thank you very much.